So today's class is this idea about certain things. If we if we have this idea about spirituality, should be something really blissful, and it's about doing rituals, and it's about doing incense. It's about ringing bells, listening to greater sounds. So going to talk to you about a few things that people have this misconception about spirituality and awakening. Spirituality is that. And even though fact I'm going on a retreat, it has to be a nice, beautiful place of a nature. Yes, to a fact, this is part of uh, things that is happening, but it's not really that. Spirituality is when you can experience your raw state of awakening. It is very important that you awaken into your raw state of awakening without that haggling that we are very much into that. I want my body to have the profit of this awakening. I want my mind to have this profit of this awakening. I want to be my health and my wealth in that profitable state. You're going to be very careful when you are fine tuning into awakening. None of this above is really happening. In fact, you may be facing very much difficulty in a space of spiritual awakening, with your health, with your wealth, about the concept of giving, about the concept of I need to haggle and win this emotion. I need to haggle and win this argument. Um, so be very careful because there's a lot of not spirituality awakening things are happening in the world, and it is pulling a lot of people. Not necessary. They always got used to get pulled by these energies, but now the spirituality can come as another name for it, and still you can get pulled into it. So your awakening has to be in places of this class. What we are trying to do is give you the tools to awaken, to see these paths if they are happening. And your life doesn't have to be this total bliss. Life is whether you are bliss or opposite to bliss, that you have the energy and the awakening to manage it without getting pulled into further than it has already pulled in a level of emotion, or in a level of the mind, or in a level of the body. Um, for me, spirituality is to work with my parts of the pain, parts of the difficulties that I have with the space of the body. It has given me the tools to live with it and listen the story of the victim, listen the story of this and that, and find a logic answer or a scientific answer, but to help that to go into deeper healing. It is very, very important in your deeper healing that you're not running away what has confronted you. You're not running away from the fears of losing. You're not running away from death. You're not running away. If you're running away, you need to work on those shadows out. So let this practice bring all those areas that I have kind of allow you to see it and feel it, and let that trauma to be there, let that fear to be there, and finding the tools that you're not getting confronted by it, but you are accepting, not only accepting, you're going to live with it and you're going to work with it. Work not to have a goal achieved, work to have that awakening. Now, when you come into this level of understanding, take a gentle, deep breath in, and very gently come into the space of that you're witnessing the breath, but in that same time, you're witnessing the body, you're witnessing the thoughts that are coming up for you, but not asking for a change. not entering into the practice in a rigid state. So I will move the camera into Darren. Now take a deep breath in, shoulders roll back, opening up the chest. Allow your spine to feel that elongation. And very gently see whether there is anything that's stored in the body that need to be acknowledged, that space, so that is they are not acknowledging to get rid of it, just the acknowledgement of it without giving any further meaning into it. Now very gently, arms raise onto the crown, interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. Take another deep breath in. Push your hips onto the mat and feel the hips, space of the hips, space of the arms, space of the shoulders, and very gently allow those challenges that you thought as a challenge now to experience that this is not a setback. Or very gently breathe out, twist the spine to the right, stomach pulled in, opening up the chest. Just release in that space of the armor, the boundary. Now, the nature of your growth is that it's a reminder that your spiritual growth is not just linear and predictable, and it's not anything like that. It's just a moving process, ongoing, and you're unfolding things. Back to the center, take a gentle deep breath in and allow your leg formation to change. Arms raised onto the crown, interlacing fingers, palms facing up. Now, can you come into a new unexpected ways with each posture? Shoulders relaxed, chest open. Now the growth and the realization opens a new level of a liberation to experience deeper level. Breath out, twisting the spine to the left side. Discover this aspect, whether it is the aspect of looking at the body, looking at the mind, looking at the past or the future. But from this moment, now you can see that you're remaining open, adaptable, and there is humbleness in this space of the realization. Now take a deep breath in, come back into the center, shoulders relax and just open. Now very gently resonate into the space of the spine by breathing out into a seated cat. Allow the body to hear the feeling, the sensations. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, energy gaze onto the third eye. Breathe out, anus, navel, throat into a gentle lock. Breathing in, tongue roll up, energy gaze onto the space of the Chiddakasa. There is no reward in this practice, but just the understanding and aligning yourself with the act of receiving and giving the breath out as a giving and serving. Breathe out. Let that breath be a more meaningful and a richer space and a harmonious level of understanding. Don't ever think that you have understood the whole spiritual journey and you have arrived on a final place. Let it surprise you. Now into a neutral spine, shoulders relax and chest open. Now very gently coming into the Garudasana, right arm on the top, shoulders relax. Let the thumb touch a gentle part of the third eye, integral part of that energy, awakening that space and breathing in through that space into the feet, feet to the space of that third eye. Now let the practice just in this very moment give a greater sense of a purpose and a joy, a satisfaction that is not that you have experienced before or you're going to experience in the future. Breath out, spread the wings and twist the spine to the right. And now this level of understanding and the practice and the body is in the space of contentment that comes from of a place of a practice, of a place of a breathing, place of a witnessing. Now this level of awakening has an impact. It's not a belief now anymore. Back to the center, change the formation for the change. Take a deep breath in, elongate, arms stretch, left on the top. Now there is a space that you are not living just slowly by solely about yourself, but you accommodate in these energies of the source. Take a deep breath in and lift up the space of the heart, of fulfilling that space of the life. Allow the breath to come as an act of giving, an act of or receiving and giving. This is not just what you have understood about material giving. This is not about that. This is having and sharing the energy, wisdom of twist the spine to the left side on the out breath. Now back into the center, shoulders relax, chest open. Now very gently take a deep breath in and walk those palms into the front, drop the elbows. Now just observe if there are any emotional struggle that has taken place in the body or fear has taken. Just make this journey more inward. Very gently take a deep breath in and coming back. Shoulders relax and chest open. Chest open. Now stretch the neck onto the right just to get the energy to flow. Just a gift of alignment. Back into the center, onto the other side. Back to the center. Now take a deep breath in, shrug the shoulders up. Breath out and release the resilience. Breathing in, shrug the shoulders up till the head back, massage the back of the skull. Just coming into that space of beyond the physicality, beyond the mental limits. Breath out, chin to the chest. Drop. Now, very gently coming into a place of that self-discovery and the growth in your space of the practice that accommodate by a mind and a body and the space of the spirit. Now take a deep breath in and bringing your left foot into the back, shoulders relax on the space of the pigeon pose. Hips. Now take a deep breath in and release that part of the pain or the confusion that coming up to you. Now you're learning of something, letting go or let it be. It's very important. If every event happen, you take on the first hit, you take 30% or 40% of whatever the intake is. But if you keep repeating, reacting into that experience, when the experience is not there, that means you're creating further hurt into yourself. So go deeper into those places where you're holding that nature of things, but let the awareness dive into deeper, whether it's the body, whether it's the mind, or whether it's co-creation of both. Breath out, drop the elbows, fold those palms, release in the tension. So far, you got that space of understanding. So there is a different kind of wholeness that accept and integrate all aspects of yourself, including the broken parts, idea of being broken, loss, whatever it is for you. Take a deep breath in and gently coming back, shoulders relaxed, chest open, elevate the space of the heart very gently, interconnecting the space of whatever is happened, broken into the brokenness. It's not a permanent state when it comes from broken to brokenness. Loss to lostness, death to deathness. The transformation through acknowledging and working through. Into a plank, strong on the pelvic floor, stomach pulled in. Let the process of deeper exploration. Left knee onto the floor. Right arm reaching into the front, clench and unclench. Release any tension still accidentally holding onto spaces. Right reaching up. Observe the shoulder, observe the pain, observe the uncomfort. Nothing smooth about this. It has to fill with struggles and setbacks moment to moment, whatever it is you're going through. Into the back, touch the floor. Now drop the knees, both onto the floor. The right arm reaching under the left armpit. Right arm, the right arm. Right arm here. Drop. And looking, and I want the complexity of the shoulder blade. And I need your breath and concentration to navigate through what you're holding in the back. If this back is not moving, it will restrict you with the movement. Whatever the turmoil you have stored in the back, I want you to recognize it. That means embracing and understanding. And in the meantime, if does not, just letting go from that space of understanding, embracing the whole spectrum of your experience, the path that was not beautiful, mm, path that you have lost yourself, path that you have lost in connection, mm, but you're acknowledging it through that brokenness. There's nothing calm and collective about it. This is just embracing the truth. And from a place of brokenness, is seeking, like a process of piercing yourself back together. But breathing in very gently, coming back, shoulders relaxed, completely breathe out to this gentle cat, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Breathing in into a cow. Now tongue roll up onto the upper palate, stretch that tongue almost like mewing in the jaw. Breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Now very gently coming into a neutral space, and rotate the hips wider, releasing the tension so that there is no confrontation, there is nothing energy stagnation as a challenge on the digestion, onto the other side, wider rotation. So this process is gently stripping away of the layers of the illusions, false narratives, beliefs that holding into the space like barnacles, and stripping away, wider rotation to the other side. Now stretch the spine on the out breath, chest down, chin stretch, throat stretch. So now you could see your dismantling of the ego, where you might question everything you thought you knew. Now knowing that it's not just about haggling and getting the beauty out of it, the tranquility out of it, profit out of it, health out of it, but the whole spectrum of everything. As I say, the path that is not beautiful. Now, very gently, palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Take a deep breath in and very gently coming into a Bhujangasana, or looking into the right side, or looking into the left side, stripping away layers of illusion, false narratives, false beliefs, ideas back into the center, and allow the third eye to land, elbows pointing out, shoulders relax, soften the hips. Maybe you may have to tilt the hips side to side. Now very gently bring in the left knee onto the left side, higher as possible, elbows onto the floor, upper body comes back into a cobra. Very gently release that tension that holding the spine, the tension that holding the energy. Discover that flow. Let the experience be rugged and raw. Delve deep into that space, breathing into that space, move the energy into that space, whether it's a difficult, whether it's uncomfortable, whether it's something else is coming up. These are all hidden emotions, unresolved trauma, things that your mind can put away so that you can continue your loop. But this is not, this is your coming out of the loop. Now relax onto the floor. Stretch the leg into the back. If you need to explore a little bit in this space, that's also fine. Otherwise, bring the palms where the elbows are, breathing in into up face. Shoulders roll back, opening up that chest. Stretch those toes properly, opening up the sole of the feet. Breathe out towards a down face. And gentle down face and retreating yourself into the space of the down face, into the shape of the down face, into the alignment of the down face, but with more understanding, not just a stereotype down face, but facing your down face as a part of you might be scared of. Explore the journey of the down face. Explore the confrontation of the down face. Now take a deep breath in, left foot back onto the space of the pigeon pose. Shoulders roll back, chest open. The raw reality of your practice. Shoulders roll back. Breathe out, shove the elbows, walk those palms, releasing that tension. Experience now is just energy filled with moment of clarity. But clarity doesn't mean that you are having amazing thoughts. Remember, the sacred is always a mystery because it's starting the past every given moment. And it's burning in that space of aliveness. But the psychology that is in the modern level is in the space of that dryness. And it keeps the burning away. So think about it, contemplate on it, feel it, how you are sabotaging your own energy. Then you will not go on doing the blame to the others again, to the world again, to the finance again, to the health again. Take a deep breath in, very gently coming back. Shoulders relaxed. A moment, a freshness, a life is burning in that freshness. So now the thought and the conditions, what I was, this, nothing echoes. And that echoes does not allow you to listen to it, but just to your own energy. Just you're supporting your own energy, not as a separation. Now let you see, when you're capable on this level, there is so much into you, the purpose into you, into a plan, strong on the pelvic floor, strong on the pelvic floor, strong on the pelvic floor, strong the palms, stretch properly. There is nothing to be fear of positioning yourself into this rawness of the experience. Rightly onto the floor. The thumb reaching up to the ceiling. clench and unclench. Release anything that, find that intelligence, like reaching into the back, touch the floor, drop the knee. Now very gently, right arm under the armpit, right arm under the armpit, right goes under the left armpit, and we are doing the other side. Shoulders relax and chest open. Participating. Releasing the tensions of the future fantasies trapped in that shoulder blade. What you're longing is not a fantasy or a victim of the past, but that realization, that evolved version. Now you have gone beyond the thoughts, beyond the body, beyond the mind. Now don't let these self-rejections, self-chatter to come back, because it will come back. If that comes, you're denying life, you're betraying that life. So when you're microcosmos in the space of the victim, criticizing, and when you go out to the practice, or let's say when the practice is not there, you go to the world, it matches the same frequency, need the same criticism, need the same rejection. Now very gently coming back, gently breathe out into the space. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, energy gaze onto the third eye. Now you're not looking at what other people think, what other people, you're not trying to behave like that. And you're not participating. So there's no betrayal. You don't have to do anything extra. You have to be just you. Back into the center. Give a good rotation. Release the tension on the out breath. Work on your belly in the space of that phenomena, the inner phenomena of that energy. Onto the other side. Now, this is the time that you can ask yourself, how do I criticize me? How do I judge me? All these things you're putting on yourself, thinking that these things you should. Now push the hips into the front and into the back. Push into the front, breathing in. Push out, stretch the spine. Palms facing up. Now just observe the self-doubt. Now, are you someone who always asks for validation and you cannot move on? Nothing is in the nature is in space of validation. Rain doesn't ask, did you like my rain? Sun doesn't ask, whether did you like my sun? Flowers doesn't bloom and ask any validations. It's a energy moving. The confidence of what is happening through the practice is the validation. The blooming is what is the beautiful, that is what is attractive. Your beauty comes with it. It's not a concept. It's not what everybody says. This is the jaw you have to have. This is the eyes you have to have. This is the mouth you have to have. This is the lip. Who knows whatever the body parts these days. The practice is, I'm incorporating all those things that I have worked with my students and coming into that space. Nothing. Supporting your own energy goes a long way into your growth. And that brings the charisma. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Take a deep breath in and coming onto an up face. Breathe out towards a down face. Shoulders relax and chest open. Now very gently walk those palms into the back, locking onto the toes. Very gently bend the knees and bring the upper chest into that knees. And then breathing out, suck the belly in, push the bum out, elbows pointing out, releasing the tension. Now very gently letting go of the toes, holding onto the back of the neck and massaging that space where your suffering is that criticism of others, hindrance from the others. But if you are persisting on, you will keep these things as your regular prayer. Back of the neck, holding onto the opposite elbows. Now move the head into the front and into the back. Let the energy flow. Move the head side to side, releasing the tension. Now very gently sitting deeper, shoulders relax. This is today is a lot of people who are in the space of the social media and functioning from those areas. Ideas about others, just releasing those ideas and their mistakes and their fears into you and their traumas into you. So it's very important discovering your potential and releasing these things that for the others are, not as a separation. It's just coming into your organic unity, uniting that awareness. Life blesses you only when you stand up for your own, to your own commitment. It's not just an idea in the head, but what you do. You are all. Holding on that space of the namaskar position and then very gently bum onto the floor. Very gently, sole of the feet together, knees wide apart. Just butterflying it and releasing any tension that you're holding, anything in the growing, any level of criticism. So now this is a time that you have to release your criticism out of the body, because this dormant energy, if you keep doing it, it will take revenge from you. Energy which does the action, and then when you make plan to do something, this energy will not support you. It will create doubts because you implanted those doubts into your own energy because someone else said that. So you become crippled to do anything before even you start to do anything because already doubting. So now this is the time to release that, whatever it is in there in your life, whether it's in the space of the finance, whether it's in the space of the health, whether it's a space of a relationship, to whatever. Well, this is also for some people who think that you're better in somewhere else located. You're better in another country, in another job. Just observe the game that your mind constantly play on you. Now very gently under the ankles, locking onto the toes, walk the bum back. If you need to put a cushion, just get the chest down, not hunch too much, or a block. Huh? And breathe very gently into that space. So this awareness is standing up in the space of your own body with your own space of the understanding. Now you have a practice of letting go. Even someone criticizes you, it never sit inside you because you have the practice to, like taking a shower internally, to release them. You release the energy yourself through the eyes of the others. So you come into a space of such self-actualization. You actualize yourself and stand for it. Now very gently take a deep breath in and gently coming back, shoulders relax. Lift up the space of the heart. Now bring those knees to the chest to complete. Breathe out. Breathing in, arms rest onto the ground, feet stretch. Breathe out. Breathing in. Breathe out. Breathing in. Breathe out. Now very gently hold the knees and roll back into the mat and lying down on the mat. Now very gently bring the knees to the chest to complete. Breathe out. Now this is a time to be aware of your own action. What you have learned from this week. What are the things that work for you and what are the things that doesn't work for you, but others are saying it's working, and release these things in the body. So just stop your mind criticizing you, the other person, the duality within. Because observe, you're talking from the duality. Now very gently arms stretch onto the side and Left knee on top of the right knee and dropping onto the left side. Totally left knee on and dropping onto the left side. Left side. And overlooking onto the right side. Right palms can face up, face down. Just observe the inner aspect into your movement. Now the breath is coming as a space of confidence. There is no arrogance. It's not coming from right and wrong. Now observe the mind is not moving into the critic character, analyze character, judge character, profit character, haggling character. Back to the center and release. Right knee over the left, dropping onto the right side. And dropping. Or looking onto the left side. So this is the time to observe whether your mind is looking at the space of the eyes of the religion, eyes of the society, eyes of the success, eyes of this, eyes of that. Understand about your own psychology. Observe the duality of the mind, one side doing, one side criticizing. This criticism can come from your childhood criticism by parents, teachers, societies, religion. There's a separate mind which looks at your actions and criticizes you. So just be aware of that part and release that part. I'm sure if they did, they intend something in those space, but you have taken that dialogue into your dialogue back into the center. Now, very gently, feet close to the buttocks, tuck the tailbone under and very gently moving and peeling off the spine, one vertebra at a time. Squeeze the buttocks. Palms can stretch next to the hips on the floor. Don't squeeze the hamstrings. Very gently coming down one vertebra at a time from the cervical spine to the thoracic spine to the lumbar spine. Now, one more time, tuck the tailbone under, peeling off on the out breath from the tailbone to the cervical spine. Gently coming down one vertebra at a time. Knees onto the chest, forehead onto the knee, and condense that energy and grab that energy as one cycle of pain is released, and you're releasing that into the space of joy, of that realization, not from the body or not from the mind as a thought or a body sensation, but as a whole. And totally relax and let go the body of that tension. Palms facing up, releasing the tension. Just take a moment to just coming into that space of the wisdom of this realization that the body has shown you and teaching you things. that you have come into this realization of your inner guru means showing you things there is no need somebody else has to fix it. Whatever has happened to you, happening to you is part of that space of the realization of the cosmic energy. That your pain is cosmos, also is happiness is your cosmos. But this ego game to isolate yourself is blame it to another so that you don't get to work on yourself. Now take a moment to the clarity that the practice has given you. That you started from where you are. You learn in your environment. Don't reject it. How to get out of this? All right. Agronami, it's not correct. I don't like this feeling. So now when this happens to you, your mind is always into the escape of give me more of that so I can forget about this. So release that tremble that comes into overeating for the drug, for the sugar, so that the pain can go. Now you tend to see your ego. Now it's coming into a place of gentleness. So the pain and the difficulty is part of the God, so that you don't get dragged into the addiction anymore. Addiction to the thoughts, addiction to this, addiction to that. So when you go out of the practice, you could see immediately that you are out of alignment. So it will not lead you into the depression, into the anxiety. Now, accept the cycles of life, moves in the cycles. Whenever there is a happiness, you strengthen when it is the other. You strengthen the daylight so that you can rest in the darkness. Now that your difficulty has made you more stronger, rather than running for a solution, you tend to stay with it. Now there is, when the mind says, I want this forever, that's where the depression comes. You can't have the happiness forever. You can have contentment and realization. Here you become the creator of your own depression because you're going it to be forever. So now release the tension of good news and bad news, right and wrong. and you come into this realization. There is no judgment of your pain, difficulty, your happiness. Now, nothing when it comes, we just don't say forever, please, God, because there's nothing to do with the God. So, any chronic pain is a condensed energy if you stay long enough in there. Now, you can use those energies which is trapped in the body to explode them into that space of the understanding, the space of bliss. Because we are caught up in little pleasures and avoiding pain. That's what is happening. We don't know how to work with the energy of that experience of realization. Now, when you come into that space of realization, whether you feel discomfort or pain, releasing that your physiological, psychological, and that you have come into this place of that, observing the sensation. Sensation itself is not a problem. The psychology neutral reaction, pain itself is a pure phenomena without giving it further more information and the story. Now, very gently clench your feet, clench your toes, soften your breath, and take a deep breath in and bring the body, knees to the chest, completely hold and feel that intention that is coming in the righteous way. Of the spine into the front and into the back, shoulders relax and chest open. Rock the spine and coming into the center. So today your awareness, you start to experience all these repressed energies of your experiences. But they are not chasing you, or you are not chasing them, you are not pushing them. Twist the spine to the right and come into the understanding that what you used to react or irritate. So nothing is overwhelming now. Back into the center, twist the spine to the other side. Back into the center. Now, whatever is happening, understand in the cycles of things, seasons of things. Arms raised onto the crown, palms onto the namaskar position, that the winter is needed, the autumn is needed, the spring is needed. So different times we do different prunings. When you come into this realization. So body belongs to the matter, mind is a matter creation. When you come into this realization, palms onto the namaskar position, and awaken into the space of the namaste. Namaste. So the class today was very psychosomatically. We worked on the idea of the self-critic that can happen through the condition of the space of the childhood. It can come from parents. It can come from certain nationalities have certain ways to deal with certain things, or they can be traumatized by these areas, whether you have come from a background of war, which I also did escape space of my country on a time of a civil war. Uh, and you need to work on these things very gently. So it's very important that the self-critic. Self-critic can bring you having a gentle success in the overlook when people look at you. Okay, I got a house, I got a car, I got a relationship, I got children, I got a dog, I got a cat. All that, if you come into, not that there are anything bad about it, but that you don't want to be conditioned and a cookie cutter of your journey like others. Uh, my journey is totally different to others, and I have to let go of what a perfect body is because I don't have a perfect body. But my imperfectness is quite amazingly have come into so many realizations. Doesn't mean that I reject a perfect body or whatever the perfect body is, a perfect side. I go through the cycles of it. Some days I could see this self-critic in the shower looking at my own belly or scars and goes into the storytelling. But I catch myself. It's not about story stops. Story will be always there. Otherwise, we have to have Alzheimer's or something to forget about it. But I don't feed it. I might have a discussion with my partner about it and just have that surface level. But I have this practice of letting go. I take out breath if my thoughts are stronger and stronger, and I very gently release because if something has happened. When it happens, it is there. But the self, it is keep on happening to me because I keep on repeating the story. So I catch myself either telling the story or thinking about the story or talking about the story. I catch myself. So I'm quite aware of at the moment that way things are. So I navigate very gently. I mean, you can navigate yourself into that, whether it's the health, whether it's the wealth, whether it's all these relationships are quite interconnected, actually. And that's the part that giving comes to me a lot. And I don't have to have anything to give. I still can give because for me, it's an energy that is not depleted. Um, if we have attachment to our giving and how that giving should go and how it should create, then you are depleted because with that goes your energy too. But when the rain falls onto every roof, regardless of it's a rich man's roof, that's a lazy guy's roof, this guy's roof, it doesn't. So there is nothing to blame God in here. God has worked on a perfect system. It's just your system has to align with it. When I say God, God, or whatever the realization that you have. So saying that, please do visit these classes. Uh, just put some headphones and listen to them when you have that doubt and fear coming, and the self-critic comes. You will see within a few minutes, you will go, aha, aha, and all what we need in life is that release out of our entanglement into our minds and thoughts and emotions and in the story. May you all have a wonderful, wonderful day today. It's only three of you. It's a trinity of energy. I loved you all, Matt, Sylvia, and Maria, and say, I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you soon. Thank you for letting me Namaste.